What's up, YouTube fam? I hope everybody out there is having a great day today. Let's get to it. 5 years after Mo 3 was gunned down on the highway in Dallas, Texas, I-35, Keon White was originally charged with the murder. Now they done picked up Yella Beezy for conspiracy to commit murder by dropping the bag on Mo 3. Man, this some dirty work. Let me take y'all back a little bit. First of all, I'm not from Dallas, Texas, but it don't take a rocket scientist to connect the dots. All you got to do is pay attention. And nowadays, with social media and, clout is like a drug, all you got to do is grab you some popcorn, man, and pay attention. These dudes be doing so much self-snitching on themselves. They be thinking they be being slick, but they just be telling. As soon as you put the phone in your face and you do anything, that's it. That's enough, for someone who then been out there and know what to look for and know what the signs, they just be telling on themselves. But let me rewind it for y'all. First of all, Roy Lee, Mo 3 friend, he got shot in the leg but ended up losing his life. All of these guys involved was friends at one time. Mo 3, Roy Lee, Yella Beezy, Trap Boy Freddy, all of them know each other, been knowing each other for a while. Why their relationship went left, I don't know. I don't have no idea. Like I say, I'm not from Texas. But for some reason or another, it went left. 9 times out of 10, it was jealousy, envy, or a broad involved. One of those three, you know. Or it could have just been clout. When one get a little bit too big, the other feel like he ain't on that level, Dudes have funny ways of getting in their feelings behind things that shouldn't really even matter. Back to what I was saying. Roy Lee lost his life. After Roy Lee lost his life, Mo kind of went on this little rampage. He got signed by Boosie. Him and Yella Beezy was going back and forth on the internet, not nothing really coming from it. Yella Beezy did an interview acting like he didn't even know who he was, and we all know that that wasn't true. So, but with that said, you know, things went in motion. Mo lose his life. After Mo lose his life, the internet detectives get the piecing stuff together. They see pictures with the alleged shooter with Yella Beezy, his manager at a photo shoot, all of these different things going on. So now Yella Beezy have been picked up for this. I don't want to sit here and glorify the details of what happened and why who did what. We all know Mo wasn't an angel. A lot of guys that's up in the streets doing what they doing in the streets, they're not angels. Regardless of what side you're on, it ain't nothing but two things promised when you live in that type of life. We know what one of them is. The other one, you'll be lucky enough if you just got jail, because when you out there thugging and running the streets like that, if you don't die, you a lucky one. And you probably saying, well, dang, how you lucky if you go to jail? Because it's something way worse than going to jail. And that's you losing your life over stuff that really don't matter. So I say that to say this. When are we going to wake up? And when I mean we, y'all know who we talking about. Like, bro, when are we going to wake up? Some of these dudes, we get into music and entertainment and things like this to change our life, to change the narrative, to, give us something that most of our family never had, and that's financial stability, generational wealth. It seems like once we get into these good positions, prominent positions, we lose sight and lose focus of what we really got in it for. The hunger that we had when we didn't have nothing to change our lives, to make our lives better. It's like all that go out the window when it comes to clout, when it comes to attention, when it comes to the stardom, to the light. So I say that to say that, man, when are we really going to wake up? Because it's embarrassing. It's us doing it to us. And the things that it be behind, I just don't understand it. Like, we have to wake up. We have to do a better job. I get funny looks sometimes when I go out in public, but I try not to feed off into it because I know that a lot of us are lost. A lot of us don't know how to change it, but it got to start somewhere. Sometimes you gotta put out the same energy that you want people to give you. Sometimes you gotta not take everything so serious when in our reality it's not that serious. A reputation ain't worth anything. It's keeping your face good. And it's a difference between your face good in the streets and your face good in real life, because the streets is a false sense of reality. The only time you realize that the streets is reality is when you're in a situation where you're like, dang, and that's either jail or you're in the hospital, you hurt bad. Like I say, it ain't nothing but two things promised. So, if you know better, you do better. And I'm speaking to me, all the people that I know, and all the people that I know that look like me. So maybe we can start changing the narrative one day, one step at a time. So try not to worry about what other people doing, just do your part. Back to the news, I hope that all parties involved get clarity with this situation, whether you're the alleged person who's being accused of it or whether you're the victim's family. So with that said, man, we just got to do better. This ain't that, y'all.